It ain't nothing to me, man. I'm from Mars. I'm off them Tatooine and Tic Tacs. We huffing star farts with the Voyager probes.
This shit ain't nothing to me, man. My shorty, a Jedi. She gave me a force job. I'm going to the Outer Rim to get Togruta Bunda shaking on my lightsaber.
If the aliens abduct me, I'm gonna be the one doing the probing. Shorty's so bad I went to Camino to get her clone. I need the sequel.
Drove the Trackhawk to planet 4645b to smoke the local flora. I put a switch on the ray gun. Ops fled the star cluster. Top shelf Mercury Mary Jane, raising my midichlorian count.
What's good, everyone? Today we're discussing the alien influencers of the internet. Because yeah, that's a thing apparently. And it's just as bizarre, narcissistic, and probably racist as it sounds. This community has actually been a thing for a couple decades now, and we'll definitely get into the history of it, but we're mostly going to focus on the more modern day examples of influencers who've made this their entire personality. And last thing before we jump right in, if you are a regular analyst of my face, of which apparently there's a lot of you, then you may have noticed this absolutely grievous, life-threatening wound, this grisly gash. And yeah, that's because as soon as I finished this script, the aliens I'm talking about sent a psychic attack toward my football helmet and made it scratch the hell out of my chin. So yeah, this is actually a revenge video. I'm getting my get back today. So my first attacker goes by the name of Coach Monarch, and here's the absolute bangers he posts.
This is a channeled message from the Council of Light, the Council of Creation. As light continues to dissolve all illusions, all true forms will be revealed. Within the leaders in all governing bodies, within the leaders of the entertainment industry, within the leaders of social media. You will see those shifting their form within the public eye. You will see reptilians and all-star seeds beginning to reveal themselves as light continues to permeate this reality.
And first of all, before we get into the substance of what he actually said, I'm sorry, but people with blue eyes need to relax, dude. Like, you do not need to be doing all that. I feel like if I look too long at this video, I'm just gonna turn to stone. Here, let me just... Oh, that is way worse. But as for the actual content, this is one of the most bizarre videos I've ever seen. It felt like getting hit with a flashbang when I was scrolling. And obviously, I had to look into it more, because what the hell is he talking about? And more importantly, what does this fit? Where do you even buy this, dude? But basically, this guy's name is Coach Monarch on Instagram, and he's a starseed life coach, scammer, who teaches that some people are secretly aliens. What are these aliens doing here, you ask? Well, they're sent to raise the collective consciousness of the Earth. Duh. And in normal person speak, there are a bunch of narcissists who think they have some special mission to come here and make everyone else ascend dimensions or something. I still don't even get it. I've researched these people for hours, and they're so vague all the time. But how do you know if you're one of these star seeds? Well, let's see what Coach Monarch has to say.
Here are 3 signs that you might be an Orion starseed. Number 1. You ain't afraid to admit your passion for Star Wars, as Star Wars is a channeled representation of all the wars experienced on Orion. Number 2, Orion starseeds are motivated by the idea of fairness. If you are someone that can't stand for injustice, speaks up for the people that can't speak up for themselves, and you stand your ground in the midst of opposition, you're not afraid to have confrontation, you might be channeling your Orion energy. And third, Orion starseeds often find themselves in professions where they can utilize their analytical minds, such as engineering, research, or data science. Do any of these signs resonate with you? If so, you might just be an Orion starseed, here to bring wisdom, balance, and justice back to this world. And if you want to learn more about starseed origins and cosmic connections, then check out my latest book, The Starseed Encyclopedia.
Alright. So an Orion starseed is someone who likes Star Wars, has an analytical mind, and has an intolerance for injustice. That's like half the population, what the hell? Like, yeah, you know, I liked Clone Wars a little bit. That was a pretty good show. Yeah, obviously that means I'm from planet Poop and Fart and 9 from the Bomb Cloud Cluster. You cannot tell me otherwise. No other explanation. But as you probably noticed, his starseed criteria is actually incredibly vague because, well, it's supposed to be. New Age spirituality, especially within America, is super cult-like with its recruitment tactics. Like, it's really vague, but it's just specific enough to get vulnerable people convinced. Like, oh man, I do like Star Wars. I do have an analytical mind. Maybe I am from Orion. Even though those are, you know, incredibly easy guesses and traits that like half the population has. You might think, well, an average person wouldn't fall for this. Everyone knows they're not an alien, but they're specifically targeting vulnerable communities. So people who feel out of place, searching for meaning, they might be struggling with mental illness, just anybody who's going to be more suggestible than the average population. That's who they're targeting with this. You know, or people with just ridiculous egos. That too. I feel like not everyone has an excuse to be a starseed. And I really feel for people with mental struggles who get roped into this community. You know, for one, you're not getting professional help. And for two, a lot of these ideas, if you take them to their logical conclusion, can probably be kind of harmful. Like, what happens if someone going through psychosis takes the idea that there's like a superior race of alien beings seriously? I don't really want to imagine that. But maybe I'm looking into it too much. Who knows? Just like Coach Monarch's looking into my soul. But back to Coach Monarch though. You're probably thinking, okay, well, this guy talks super confidently, right? So where does he get his sources? He obviously has something to back his sources up, right? No, he made it the hell up. And I'm not even joking when I say that. Normally I say that phrase as a joke, but quite literally, the source of information in this community is whatever they imagine. It's called channeling. So you basically meditate and receive information from the universe or other beings. So you literally just take your imagination seriously, and that's your source. Like, can you imagine an essay written by this guy? Like, how do you even cite shrooms in MLA format? Whatever. And yeah, so you basically just sit there and try to have a conversation with interdimensional beings. Let me show you. Ah! Alright, I had a nice conversation with Freak Bob. He told me to oil up and he told you to subscribe. Now, as you saw in the beginning of the video, Coach Monarch will occasionally post channeled messages he gets from the Council of Light. So yeah, he's just got a council of imaginary friends that he occasionally gets messages from. And usually it's just vague motivational speeches and even vaguer talks about your energy, your frequency, or the wave, which is how everything works, by the way. Wrong video again, my bad. But it's not always motivational. Sometimes he just gets beamed some absolute bangers.
In this play, there are paid actors, more specifically clones that are set up to manipulate the masses.
I sure do love how these supernatural messages he's getting are the exact thing conspiracy theorists have been saying for decades. Like, if you're gonna make stuff up, at least be creative about it. Like we've heard this before.
The Biden puppet is a prime example of deception. There have been many clones of Biden since Biden passing away a few years ago. As you've seen in the media, the recent clone of Biden was unable to continue the task of presidency. There are no more clones of Biden that will continue his job.
Alright, so if this clone isn't fit for re-election, why didn't they just make another clone?
As the cloning technology was compromised.
Oh, okay, well that's convenient, isn't it? Oh, okay. He goes on to say that this technology has existed for centuries, but for some reason just now it failed? Wow, it's almost as if all of this was made up retrospectively. Actually, the word is retroactively. This guy's an idiot! Wait, no, retrospectively might also be correct. Okay, maybe I'm the idiot. Let me know in the comments. Let's take a look at some more convenient statements.
Your government's recent disclosure of our base in your oceans is a sign that we have been waiting for.
So in case it isn't clear what he's talking about, a couple weeks ago there was a Senate hearing about unidentified anomalous phenomena and UFOs. And they basically found that yes, the government does have UFO footage, that like, it is real footage, but the key here is unidentified. There's no evidence any of that is alien technology or anything. Like, that's why it's called unidentified. But Coach Monarch was given an inch and he took a mile and just started posting about it in the most smug and insufferable way possible.
Before initiating first contact with any evolving world, there are universal laws that we must abide by. Laws that honor free will and the conscious choice of civilizations. One of these laws requires that we wait until the governing bodies of that civilization to take the first step in disclosing information about our existence. This initial act of disclosure is so crucial as it symbolizes collective consent of your world, signaling that it is prepared to receive and to integrate what follows. Only once this is demonstrated through your leaders can we move forward and reveal ourselves to all. We come not to dominate, but to collaborate, to bring forth a new world with you.
Wow, again, that's so convenient. So, apparently in order to initiate first alien contact, the government has to admit they're real, which is a pretty perfect cover-up for why they haven't revealed themselves yet. But I'm a little confused. So he's saying that our planet needs to give consent first before we can make alien contact. But he's been making content for years, so not only is he an alien, but he's an alien criminal and an alien traitor. Okay. Like, dude, all your buddies are out hiding in the ocean, extremely excited to throw humanity a crazy surprise party. What are they gonna do when they find out you've been trying to spoil it for like 2 years? Like, buddy, if I were you, I would be terrified of them coming back. I would be getting on the spaceship and going. I really do wonder if he believes this stuff in earnest. Like, my judgment for whether someone is trolling or not is usually whether they're trying to make money or not off of what they're doing. Coach Monarch sells courses, all sorts of things like that, as does every New Age spiritual guru. So even if he doesn't believe it himself, he's trying to make other people believe that he believes it. But again, if he does claim to truly believe this, like if he saw aliens arise out of the ocean, would he be like surprised deep down and just act like he knew what was going on? Like for real, I want to step in this guy's mind and see what's going on. Oh wait, we can, because he teaches telepathy too. Ah, he's sending me fire! Speaking of fire though, I just gotta say, there's a lot to criticize this guy for, but we cannot criticize his fits. These go crazy. Okay, come on though, some of these poses are a little excessive. Like, he does not have a single psychic message where he needs to be doing all this. Speaking of psychic messages, I showed that all of his sources are just his imagination, and that's actually no way unique to him. In fact, it's really encouraged within this community, even among vulnerable populations such as children. So let's look at our next person. Wait, last thing about Coach Monarch, apparently he's a rapper. Check this out.
All is speaking all around, every moment, all is now. Don't you worry, don't you frown. Walk within and you'll be found. It's time that you see what your future's about to be. Breakthrough is the message of this beat.
Okay, for real this time, now to our next person who goes by Kelly the Magical Medium. So Kelly is also a starseed who gets her information by channeling. And so is her kid.
Water can be also like a portal. It can help you manifest. Water is pretty powerful.
Yeah.
It's actually infinite.
Yeah.
There's an infinite source of everything. This water, this is living for sure. We know that's living. You can pray to your water. It's going to become healthier, and it's going to learn that you're taking care of it. You take good care of water, just like take good care of a pet. It's going to learn that you're taking care of it. Then it's going to want to, feel comfortable around you. It's not going to feel pain. That's what you're supposed to do.
So can it hear you when you speak to it?
Vibrations, yes.
So the words that you say,
Like
could you
vibrating it.
communicate with it through telepathy?
Yes. If you say any negative things, that's when it's going to go bad. Like,
Yeah, you heard that right. This mom is teaching her kid to just imagine things and take them as fact. Like, dude, this is reverse parenting. You are teaching your kid incorrect information. And I love it because she's even like drawing him towards certain conclusions. She's all like, oh, can you communicate with the water? Can it help you get what you want in life? Like, dude, you are raising this kid to be talking to water at lunch. Like, this video reeks of a CPS call. I feel so bad for this kid. Now, are they serious though? I think so because, again, they're selling courses and products. And some of these products are a little weird because she is advertising shrooms on an account that she shares with her kid. Oh boy. And on her website, Kelly actually does psychic readings for people, and she specifically holds channeling sessions like Coach Monarch does. And I'm gonna try some of her methods. When you channel, you're supposedly talking to an entity, right? So I'm gonna do my best to draw the entity that I see. Let's get it. Man, I really just wasted a bunch of Copic ink for a 2-second joke. That's fun. Now, I went out to check her website to see the type of things she sells. And apparently she has a 2-year waitlist for her readings. Either she's an incredibly slow worker or she is just getting her bag. I don't know. But seriously, who are the people who look at this account and are just like, man, I really want to book a session? Like, who looks at that? Who looks at that and thinks that is reliable? And the last thing to note about Kelly, though, is that both her and her kid are supposedly starseeds. She has like a video of them having a car ride, and she asks him about where he came from. And so basically, this kid just imagines a bunch of things.
It rains water. It just rains normal water. But the water is a bit warmer because of the atmosphere. It has a bigger atmosphere than Earth does.
What are the colors?
Pink, gold, green, blue, cyan,
That's what I saw too.
and stuff. Brown too.
Yeah.
Yellow.
Are the colors more vibrant?
Yes, a bit more. And they have cities. They have cool cities, futuristic cities.
And like I said, she's goading him on. He just lists a bunch of colors and she's just like, bro, that's exactly what I saw. It's so true. Again, no offense to the kid. Bro is very young. I just mean that, like, it's wild that, like, people take this seriously. Like, listen to these comments, all right? Could you ask him, please, what I could use to cure my panic disorder? I've had it all my life, thank you. You could just go to a medical professional. Nah, some kid from Pleiades is gonna help you, alright? Obviously. Of course, we got more starseeds in the comments. There are many planets in the Pleiades. What I come from is blue, and has many pyramids and fountains. Cool. My granddaughter is 17 months and fights us to go outside and be part of outdoors daily. She walks around and points up and says star. Well, obviously she's from there, you idiot. Send her back. And I love just like looking into communities and seeing what beef they have. It really depends on which planet in the Pleiades you visit. Maya, for example, is very similar to his description, but there are several moons which are also inhabited which have vastly different properties. I just love how there's a group of people with zero sources making things up, and they are arguing with another group of people who have zero sources and are also making things up. The internet is so peak. And I don't want to bag too hard on the spirituality community as a whole. I'm not personally into much of this stuff, but if it works for you, that's great. And I feel like a lot of it can be genuinely beneficial, especially the stuff about like controlling your own emotions and thought processes, especially with like meditation and mindfulness, but like I really don't think starseeds and psychics really fall into the beneficial side of spirituality. I'm sorry, Gregor Fancy, I had to say it. I hope you're not watching this. I'm sorry. I will cry if he unfollows me on Instagram. Like, I'm sorry, but you're not going to get good advice from channeling. You're not going to improve your life by going to a psychic or sitting in your room imagining things. And I'm not trying to dunk on traditional religion either, because to me, praying is way different than this like new age spirituality channeling stuff. Like typically religious praying is like, hey God, should I take this job offer? Have I been too boastful lately? Do I need to apologize to somebody? And even if you're not religious, you probably understand why someone would pray. But then you get new age spirituality, which is just like, oh yeah, I was talking to Freak Bob and he told me I'm from Pleiades, so I'm gonna go teach my son incorrect information now. Like, this is utterly ridiculous. What are we doing? And again, like I said, this stuff is so silly that it seems harmless at first, but it really isn't. Because a lot of people who get roped into this community might be struggling with mental illness or something like that. And instead of getting professional help, these dudes come in and they're just like, oh dude, you should totally buy my course, you alien. But speaking of vulnerable people, I found a couple really good Reddit posts that explain why this community can be so predatory. Like for example, this post right here, somebody goes to a psychic for advice and they tell them that they're a starseed. They're all like, oh, you're an empath and your empathy abilities come from being a starseed. And this person is like seriously considering this conclusion in the comments. Like, Mr. Psychic, I really feel lost in the world right now, you know? Everyone's suffering. There's so many creatures on the planet that I feel empathy for. Like, you know, why do I feel this way? How can I feel better? Do you have any advice for me? I think you're an alien, dude. You're right! And this is the type of person that this community preys on. It's pretty much just anybody who is, you know, feeling down in life, searching for meaning, or not feeling like they fit in. And because of this, it makes it easier for them to convince these people that, you know, you're actually an alien and you should give me money because, you know, you're special and I am too, and you should buy my book about it. And it's especially bad because they'll do a lot of this to neurodivergent people too. A lot of people who might have autism or something may not feel like they fit into society as well as neurotypical people. So then these spiritual gurus will come in and be like, oh, the reason you feel that way is because you're an alien. Like, no, don't get an autism diagnosis. You need a starseed diagnosis. Like, no, you should give me money instead of the therapist. Like, okay? It's so bizarre and really predatory. But on the starseed subreddits, it's not all just posts like this though. There's a lot of them that are relatable starseed memes. And I gotta say, one of my favorite things in this life are memes that are meant to be relatable, but only to like a really specific group of people, or at least like not to me. Like for example, I follow an account on Instagram called Jehovah's Witness Bruh Moments, and it's all just like relatable Jehovah's Witness memes, and like even though I understand none of them, they're so funny because I don't understand any of them. And this subreddit is really the same. Why are you always so vague about your spiritual beliefs? My spiritual beliefs? Like, buddy, who is this meant to be relatable to? I love it. When your spirit guides keep making you do shadow work rather than spread love and light. Like, again, what does this mean? How did 427 people agree with this? For me, I love reading beef between incorrect communities like this. Like, listen to this. Why does everyone now think shadow work is giving into your dark side and doing bad, dumb shit? Because shadow work is confronting your darker nature and incorporating that with your light and positivity until the darkness is eventually swallowed, casting a hints to the word shadow. Like, yeah, you stupid idiot. You thought shadow work was something to be ashamed of? No, it's actually cool. Like, how are there two people this incorrect debating on nothing? How does this happen? But by now, I think you understand the whole deal with starseeds. So let's discuss their extremely problematic history. So I found a really good article about it by Jules Evans. Shout out Jules Evans, because this stuff is so hard to find sources on, but this dude came in and compiled it all into one really useful document. So I'm gonna pull a lot of info from that article, and if you like this section, I recommend you go read that whole article. It is a banger. So basically, the idea of starseeds and supernatural beings has actually been a thing for a really long time. And people have been doing this channeling and astral projection type thing for centuries. It's not just a thing that came on TikTok. Like, for example, Aleister Crowley claimed he was projecting his consciousness to other planets, and he drew this picture of what he saw. But I think he's a liar, because he didn't send his consciousness to other planets, he sent it to the future and brought back a picture of Peyton Manning. But over time, though, ideas about aliens got weirder and weirder, and eventually this religion known as Theosophy showed up, and it was made by Madame Helena Blavatsky, who's basically Darwin but evil. Because she basically just pulled up and said that evolution wasn't from natural selection, it was from a bunch of superhuman beings just doing it themselves. And one of the more problematic things she claimed is that different races of humans were evolved from different alien races. But this is also an issue when you realize that she considers some alien races higher and lower. Uh-oh. And here's an example of a few of them. So we got the Lemurians, the Atlanteans, and the current quote-unquote dominant race, the Aryans! But yeah, so if you were getting kind of alarm bells in your head while you were learning about this sort of thing like I was, this is why. A lot of its roots are from eugenics and racism. I'm not trying to claim that the modern starseed people are actually racists or fascists or whatever, but I think it's important to realize where these ideas came from so we know when to discredit them. For real, let's trace this ideological development to see how we got here. So, it started off in the late 1800s, where occultists started believing that, aliens were real and maybe some of us were descended from them. Then that later developed to justifying actual eugenics and racism against real populations, such as in 1945 Germany. And then that spread over to American UFO culture, where they were also big into the space racism part, only some of these alien races are good, stuff like that. Again, this has always been a way to justify racism pretty much, kind of like the reptilian conspiracy theory is used to justify anti-Semitism. And then from American UFO culture, that's where we get to the current starseed stuff. So the guy who started this whole trend is named Timothy Leary. And he got arrested, and during his time in prison, he and his cellmate both started tweaking out one day. They're like, wait, I think we're getting messages from the Sirius star. This is so true. I'm gonna write a book on it. And then now it's a trend. Oh my goodness, dude. You did so much damage by doing that. What are you doing? Now, again, like I said, it's not quite as problematic as the original alien theories, but it's still really weird because it's what do you mean there's certain groups of people that are just more evolved than others? And then it also goes on to claim that some people will evolve past this current Earth and ascend to a better one, while a lot of people will remain on the evil Earth. It's so weird. I don't know. It's very egotistical. And as the author was so kind to point out, one of the biggest propagators of this idea nowadays is someone who goes by Dolores Cannon. Thank you, Jules Evans, for pointing this out. You are a real one. Thank you so much. Because weird social media accounts are my expertise. So let's go look at some of Dolores Cannon's posts. Alright, so here we got the official Dolores Cannon account. And this account posts authentic Dolores content. Authentic Dolores content. As opposed to inauthentic Dolores content. I'd argue all of it's inauthentic though, because she's pretty much just lying at a camera the whole time. So yeah, Dolores is big into aliens and starseeds as usual. But as usual with New Age people, they never just believe one thing. It's always just a mishmash of bizarre ideas got from everywhere.
This can get complicated if you want to go there.
Oh, I do.
Parallel life. And you can be living this life and also living a life on another planet at the same time. I've had that happen to many of my clients.
Yeah, Dolores, I'm sure I got a clone on Mars right now. And he's probably making videos on the weird people of their culture who think they're Earthlings. Now, we've talked a lot about starseeds, but not a whole lot about the signs that someone actually is a starseed. We touched on a bit with Coach Monarch, but again, he was really vague. But luckily, Dolores has provided us with a list of things that might suggest you're a starseed. Alright, 1. Earth was never your first home. You have a deep-rooted longing to be home, but don't know where home is. Possibly another planet. So yeah, if you feel lonely, you're probably an alien. Now pay me money. Feeling out of place. Nobody understands your infinite cosmic mind. Loves to be alone in solitude and peace in nature. Avoids crowded places. Fascinated with space, sci-fi, UFOs, crystals, time travel, fantasy, and magic. Yeah, so if you're already into all this stuff, that probably means you're a starseed and you should buy my book. Would rather stare up at the night sky than watch television. This sounds like some not like other girls type thing. Like, oh, dude, other girls? Yeah, they watch television. I watch the sky. Dreams at night often reveal worlds and time eras never before visited. Always felt your life had a special purpose, but unsure of what it is yet. You were always ahead of your class and simply just knew everything. You have an inexhaustible compassion for all forms of life and animals. You have a highly intuitive sense of mind and can feel the energy and emotions of other people, animals, places, and objects. Your life is full of synchronicities, and you often see 1111 or other repeating numbers, often experience deja vu, and attract good luck and fortune. You are constantly researching spiritual knowledge and are obsessed with bringing your body and mind into a higher state of consciousness. Again, whoa, you're already into New Age stuff? Well, that means you're a starseed. Buy my book, you stupid idiot. You sense a huge event coming soon in the near future that will change everything we know about life and humanity. You are smiling now as you read this because you know you're special and you're not alone. Starseeds unite. Amazing stuff. So specific, and it's definitely not made up. And you know, again, like I said, her marketing is pretty smart. You target people already into New Age spirituality, tell them that they're into it because they're a starseed, and then you get book sales. You know, that's actually kind of smart. I can give her credit for that. But what I don't think is smart is that people still listen to her.
But don't let anyone tell you what to believe. There are a lot of people out there like that. I'm the only one with the truth. I'm the only one that really knows anything. Those kind of people I would avoid because nobody has the only truth. Nobody has it all. We're all still searching. But if somebody tells you, I'm the only authority, I have it all, well then be very suspicious. I'm the only one with the truth. I'm the only one that really knows anything.
Yeah, so she has all the answers, but in the same message, she says that anybody claiming to have all the answers is a stupid idiot liar. Like, okay, great, amazing work. We're contradicting ourselves within the same sentence. And then people still take this seriously? Like, I don't even know, man. What is going on? But really, I just hope they don't take her medical advice seriously, because she's one of those people that believes, like, your energy, your frequency, or the wave, which is how everything works, by the way, is what, like, influences your help. Yeah, why the hell did I say help instead of health? My bad. I think Dolores sent another psychic attack at me. She's all like, oh yeah, doctors, no, you should just, like, fix your energy or something. Wow, this is amazing advice and is certainly not harmful. Not at all. But at this point, there really isn't much left to say. You kind of get the gist by now. There is just an absolute infinite amount of stupid, incorrect information that they post, and it would take me all day to cover all of them, but I think I've covered the major trends of what they believe. So as for my overall thoughts, what do I think about this community? Well, I think they are kind of a cult who preys on vulnerable people, and is mainly just meant to get money from these people and stroke the egos of the influencers who promote it. And they don't actually do anything to help people who are struggling. So for example, in this video, Coach Monarch goes to say that if you see an alien craft and nobody else saw it, it was just meant for you. If someone in your audience has psychosis or schizophrenia, you're just validating their delusions. This is incredibly irresponsible. And like, the belief that there are alien races among us influencing the world is incredibly problematic historically. And although I don't think modern starseed culture and the influencers who promote it are, you know, as bad as the historical roots were, like, it's less racist and more egotistical now. It really is concerning that they wholeheartedly believe that there's a certain race of people out there who are more highly evolved and meant to, like, you know, bring up the consciousness of everyone else. That is so weird. It just rubs me the wrong way. I'm sorry. But luckily, I can rest assured knowing that no one in this community will ever have enough structural power to actually do anything with that belief. So, yeah, that's all I got. Later.
Broke boy ran up on me, so I put 30 in his pacemaker. Had him screaming like a TIE fighter. That radioactive reefer got me moving like the Mars rover. Took me a week to get to the fridge.
The Mercurian methylene moon rocks got me acting unscrupulous. That space blunt got a 90-degree curve in it. We smoking that Pyrenees pack. That solar flare supernova pack taught me the true meaning of Christmas.
My bong water straight from Europa. All my shooters, force sensitive. My shorty at Twilek. Them head tails got me acting in a manner unbefitting of a bounty hunter.